Well, good evening. How are you all doing? Today was a busy day. It's the Journal 34, T plus 28, 28 days since my stem cell bone marrow transplant. It is 4:30. I don't know where the hell April went. If you find out anybody, if there's a lead on anybody who might have stolen it, please let me know. I would like some of it back. Um, but all all kidding aside, it's really interesting. Um, I've had people turn around and say, in all earnest, I mean, and in good faith, so what do you do all day? Um, and it's a legitimate question, I suppose. I mean, it really is. It's, one would think that um, you got all this time to fill. How do you fill it? And the fact of the matter is, it appears that there's never enough time, no matter how much you try to fill it. Uh, I'll give you a really good example of today. Um, I'll give you an example of the schedule for the week, so maybe that'll help. Monday and Thursdays I have labs and clinic. That means that I go into the City of Hope, have a blood draw, wait about approximately an hour, and then I go see the doctor. We go over the numbers and how things are going and what's going on. That's where the art of medicine comes in, because there's so much instinct and intuition and science built into that whole process. And I think at this point you have a pretty good idea how critically important it is to my future and the future of my family. Uh, so that's Mondays and Thursdays. Tuesday, today, this morning, we had a bone marrow biopsy, and I had the first tea time this morning. So we had to leave here by about 6:15 in the morning to be at the City of Hope by 7 o'clock, to be on the table at 8 o'clock, to have somebody, pound a hole in my hip and take a sample of what's going on in there, subsequent to the transplant. It probably is going to be premature in the respect that we're not going to get, really substantive information, but, we might have, a direction. After that, we came back here to the hotel, had a little bit of something to eat, because obviously you're not allowed to eat before they give you sedation. And since they didn't give me a gold star and they didn't give me a toy, I didn't get to go to the toy box. When I had the two bone marrow biopsies that were without sedation, I decided, screw it, I'm not going to do it anymore without sedation. So, by the time you come out of the anesthetic, it was a little bit after 10 o'clock. So we went back to the room, had a little bit of breakfast because I hadn't eaten at all, and was starting to get really shaky. Came back here and took care of that, and then I mentioned the other day that Lesley, trying to play the role of Sherpa and taking care of me and dragging too much stuff too far, managed to go ahead and re-aggravate two discs that she has a problem with, L4 and 5. Is there anyone out there who doesn't have a problem with L4 and 5? I don't think I've ever met anybody who doesn't. You don't have to tell me if you don't. I'll just be jealous anyway. So she had an appointment with an orthopod and a large group out here. And then this is going to be the subject of another blog post. Monrovia, Arcadia, Duarte, Azusa, all of the towns out here on the east end of the basin, the LA basin. I never had a lot of experience out here. We did come out here to Irwindale to go drag racing when I was a kid, and street racing, which we shouldn't have done, but we did anyway. But it's really nice out here. I mean, it's really, really nice out here. And there's a large orthopedic group in a building right across from Santa Anita Racetrack. And we went to see the doctor there. It turns out that just serendipitously, he's on staff at City of Hope. He's an orthopedic oncologist, among other things. And I think he's going to help, take a minimalist approach to getting her back straightened out, and not recommending anything too intrusive. So we went to that appointment, and first appointment paperwork, everything else takes 2-3 hours. We got that done. Then we came home, and it takes an hour to go ahead and put my pills together because they keep adjusting the medications, particularly the 2 anti-rejection drugs, to make sure they get it right, which is more stressful than it seems like it ought to be. But you can't not get it right, so you have to be sure that you're making the adjustments that they want you to. I managed to get an hour on the treadmill, which was good, and I managed to drink water, a lot of water. I would suggest, based upon everything that I've read so far and all the conversations that I've had with my doctor and other doctors, that you treat water like it was a medication, and you drink a lot of it. And by a lot of it, I mean close to 2 liters. That's what I've been trying to do. I have to do it because my creatinine level is creeping up, and you don't want to damage your kidneys. You don't want to be successful in gaining a new life and then having it, hampered by all kinds of other diseases that you get as a result of the treatment that you just got, which could happen anyway, by the way. So we got the pills done, and we got everything taken care of. And we were really cherishing the fact that tomorrow, Wednesday, the 1st of May, May 1st, May Day, we had a relatively free day. We didn't have anything to do until the phone rang just a little while ago. And it was the nurse practitioner who works with my doctor calling up to tell me that my numbers had dropped, and that I needed to come in tomorrow in the morning for a Neupogen shot. Neupogen is a medication that you get it's a soft tissue injection, usually in the stomach, and it helps, if I'm not mistaken, with platelet and white blood cell counts. It's funny, not funny, ha ha, funny, peculiar, but I don't need, it sounds presumptuous as hell, but I'm not sure that I really need a telephone call like that, or I need to be told that my numbers are falling, because through instinct, intuition, through being aware of my body to the point where I can sense when my numbers are lower than at other times, because I get cold more easily. It's harder to get warm. I get shaky. I have little or no energy. I'm kind of surprised that I was able to go as long as I was on the treadmill, but that may be just a put your head down and get it done because you need the exercise kind of thing. Eat, drink, walk. Are critical components of recovering from pretty much anything that I can think of. So through intuition and instinct, you get a sense of where your body is and what that's all about. And the hard part about that is learning to trust what your body's trying to tell you. So I could just as easily have called my nurse practitioner and said, I think my numbers have dropped. Could you look at the blood work from today's bone marrow biopsy and let me know? And I would have been correct in that assumption that they had fallen. And realistically, at this point in my treatment, they're low to begin with. I mean, they're really low to begin with. So the only other thing that's important to recognize is that intuition and instinct is probably one of the things that have kept us alive on the planet for these many tens of thousands of years. So you have to learn to trust what those instincts and those intuitions are trying to tell you. and pick things up from there. Um, I'm listening. The question is, are you need to be in touch with your body. You need to be mindful. Um, you need to be aware, and you need to listen. It could save your life. Uh, Realistically, I was diagnosed before I symptomized, so I didn't even know I was anemic, let alone everything else that was going on with me. So try and keep that in mind when you're looking at yourself. Try and keep in mind the fact that on the airplane they tell you to put your mask on first. So if you're in the role of caregiver, remember that you can't take care of anybody if you don't take care of yourself. Um, as my doctor said, this is a marathon. It's not a sprint. You're going to be on the road. The road is rocky. It's rough. You're going to stumble. Uh, you're going to take a step backwards every once in a while, and you can't let that bother you. Uh, if he thinks something like that's going to bother me or stop me from getting well, he doesn't know me very well at this point. But I think he's got a good sense that I'm pretty much going to do anything I need to do to get through this. Um, and with that, I will wish you a good evening. I want you to stay well, take care of yourselves. Um, know that Lesley and I care about all of you very much.